Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. It's the pregame show. I'm going to have for you some game day news. I'm going to have a game preview. I've got the lineups. I also have the Guess the Score contest. If you guess the score of the game and the first goal scorer of the game, you can pick that guy from either team. And if you're the first person in the chat with that guess, you'll win the cash prize of $10 directly into your bank account via Interac. All right, so this is game number 50, and it is they're on the road tonight. They're in Ottawa, Montreal in Ottawa, to take on the Senators. The Senators are, I think, slightly better in points than Montreal, but I mean they're kind of struggling. I think right now they've got a big injury to their big shooter, Josh Norris. Yeah, and just they're Ottawa. So Montreal's got another injury to add on to that. I'll have that in the game day news. And let's say hi to everybody, and then I'll get to the game day news. How's that? BL, catchy tune. I had something playing before. I particularly like the FU Booba Van. I figured you would. Anyway, Moose Eagles in the Q game tonight. So I'm going to say, I don't know how that means. Is the Eagles the Sens? No, wait a second. I don't know how that game affects your guess. That's what I wanted to say. 5-2 Habs. Sens coming off a big win in Toronto last night. They beat the Leafs 6-2, which was great. And they're going with Forsberg again. I don't know. We're going to find out when I show the lineups. He gives Hoffman the first goal. Okay, that was a lot there. Hey, Guru, how you doing, man? 3-2 Habs. Guru. Giroux with the first goal. Rick Bangle says, "Hey, Rick. Rick here. Hey, Rick Bangle, how you doing?" Guru also says, "Can't wait to see Beck on the ice." Yeah, I'm going to have that in the game day news in just a minute. Lucas Miller, 5-3 Ottawa, DeBrinket. By the way, I got your email. I didn't answer it, I know, but I got your email, and I will get back to you on that, okay? Marwisk. Hey, Marwisk, how you doing? Montreal is cursed with injuries. They sure still are. Okay, so speaking of injuries, let's get to some game day news. First, I'll go with the injury. So it's like one off, one on. Jake Allen came back from injury versus Detroit, but during the game, Joel Edmondson suffered a lower body injury, and he is out, and no length of time yet for that. I guess the hope is that he's back before the trade deadline, because there's a lot of rumors, anyways, that Edmondson might get moved to the deadline. So we got that. Because of that, I believe it's because of that, the Habs have recalled Owen Beck on an emergency recall. He'll go back to the juniors, I believe, after 2 games, because they've got 2 games. Then it's the All-Star break. They have a long period where there's no games. I doubt they keep Beck here for that, and he goes back to play games in junior again. He'll wear number 62, so look for number 62. See, my dog's really excited about Beck in the lineup. He'll wear number 62, so look for that. Did I say that? I said that when you're watching the game. Sens are on the second game of back-to-backs, as I noted by the fact that they beat Toronto last night 6-2. So that should help Montreal, hopefully. Maybe make up the difference of, they're on the road, Sens are at home. That could make the difference. Make up that difference. All right. On Cole Caulfield, he did, I guess, a little press conference. So he was talking about the injury. So I had said that I thought he got hurt December 12th versus Calgary. This is not the case. He got hurt a little bit later. Apparently, it was December, and this is from him, right? So he was hurt December 23rd versus Dallas when they were on the road trip and in Dallas. So Merry Christmas. He also reheard it again in Nashville, and that means that would mean he played 13 games with the injury. 13 games. He went 8 goals, 1 assist, 9 points. So when I was talking the other game about him chasing 60, maybe not so much. It wasn't as long a time. But, this kid would have scored 50 goals almost for sure this season if he wasn't injured, especially, right? He wanted to keep playing. He said also that if they were chasing a playoff spot, he would still be playing. That's what he said. And yet, at the same time, saying that he didn't have any pain taking a shot. He didn't have any pain when he got hit, when he fell. That's when it would hurt. And that was the problem, is that any of those falls that he had could have made it much worse and everything. So, yeah, he wanted to keep playing. And I think he says he would have if they were chasing a playoff spot. But I think at some point, I don't know if you put the guy's future at risk. You want him ready for next season. So it was the right decision to make. His surgery will be on February 1st in Vail, Colorado. It'll be done by Dr. Peter Millett, who also did Josh Anderson's shoulder in 2020. So he's in good hands. So what was his injury? It's a torn labrum. And I believe that the labrum kind of holds the shoulder from being separated, because the injury he had in Dallas and Nashville was a separated shoulder, and both times they popped it back in. So good on Cole as far as the guy's tough. He can take pain and shit like that. Good to see, right? But we don't really want to see that happen to him. He should be able to start shooting pucks again by May. He says 3 months after if he's lucky, 3 months after the surgery. That puts him in May, sometime during May. Let's see. He also laughed and said the Habs have confiscated his sticks in the locker room and his skates. So they don't want him being on skates because he could fall. And even though he said it didn't hurt shooting, I guess once the operations happened, he can't think of doing that. So, yeah, he laughed that off. But he did say they seriously did do that. So he wasn't joking, but he laughed about it. So there you go. I think that's all I got for Game Day News. Let's see what you guys are saying, and then we'll get to my preview. I can give you my guess to score. Might as well do it now. There's enough people here. So I'm going to go with 4-3 Montreal. And I'm going to give the first goal. And you know what? His first goal of his career. He's come so close lately. He's not a kid. But for Alex Belzile, he deserves it. I'd love to see him get the first goal against Ottawa. And, so I'm giving it to Alex Belzile. Guru, I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing back on the ice. I mean, don't expect that he's going to stick around. He's on an emergency recall, so that won't happen. But he's getting a good look and a good chance here to show something for, next season. I'm quite sure at next training camp, Beck is going to be making a push to hopefully stay with the club, right? So for him, it's a big opportunity. Let's see. Stan the man. Hey, Stan. 5-3 Habs. Oh, and Beck first goal. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. To me, that's just too easy. But, hey, you're allowed. More ice time for the kids with Edmondson out. Yeah. Filibuster. How's it going, man? Surgery and personal safety is always important. Price can barely go up and down his own stairs without pain, and he has many kids. Imagine not being able to pick your own kid up. But listen, Price said he'd do it all over again. The thing is, you got to stop them from doing that, right? Because, they're Cole just said he'd still be playing. You got to stop them at some point. Say, no, you're too valuable. Go get. So, you're right about that, right? Who is Beck replacing? I imagine because Edmondson came off has an injury. There's an open spot. Also, it seems like they're going now with a full lineup as a full 4 forward lines, not 11 and 7. They're going 12 and 6 as far as forwards and defense. So I'm not sure if they just decided they're going to fill out the roster properly, or because Edmondson went off, they brought Beck up. They could have brought other guys up, but apparently, and I didn't read this article. I know it's got a hair in it. Eric Engels, I think, wrote it about the reason why Beck and the timing and everything. And it was perfect for Beck to come up. I didn't read it. I didn't have time because I was out this afternoon. Habs will win 4-2, says Filibuster. Some unsung defenseman. Say Savard if he's not hurt. No, Savard's playing. He's not hurt. JVed, 3-2 Montreal. Raphael Harvey Pinard, the guy on my chair. Rory. Hey, Rory. Did I already say hi? I might have already said hi, but hey, Rory. I thought maybe Doc or Devo got injured. Devo got hurt for the game. I don't think he's out, though. He's not out. I saw the lineup. He's not out. Doc got injured on the slap shot, I think, by Radko Gudas in the Florida game. Hit him right on the knee. I think that's what Doc's injury is. If cap friendly is correct, we almost have $5.3 million in cap that's free. Yeah, well, don't forget Carey Price, a lot of money. They didn't use all that. Jackson, 4-3 Sens with Jack-Eye getting the first goal. Rory's guessing 4-2 Sens. Giroux with the first goal. Stances out the energy line will have more ice time today. They had the most 5-on-5 ice time in the last game. Marty's it won't come out. Coach Marty, that's better. Coach Marty, I guess, recognized, right, that they were having a really good game, and he fed them ice time. So there's no complaining about the ice time they had. They had the most 5-on-5. I mean, they're not going to be on the power play. So, I think he did a good thing, and it shows his smart coaching. Paul Byron also on LTIR, $3.4 million there. Right, they got plenty of money on the LTIR. That's why they got plenty of money left. Rory, I'm assuming that it's not a serious injury on Doc and that there's no need to pull the plug on it. That's what I'm assuming. That's an assumption. It's not something I know. Monahan is there as well at the moment. Yeah, I think when the All-Star break is over, don't forget, they have it's January 31st is their last game before the All-Star break, but they don't come back to play till February 11th. So they got a long break there, and they're going to have guys coming back. We know Drouin and Armia are definitely coming back. I think there's a chance Monahan will be back by then. There's going to be guys back, so let's hope Monahan's won. Jason, how's it going, man? 3-2 Habs. Anderson, first goal. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. With hopefully some guys come back from injuries, and then we're getting really close now to. By the time they get back to playing, there's like 3 weeks to go before the trade deadline. So guys could get, you got to figure 3 weeks in from the guys could get traded at any point at that point. So wouldn't shock me to see them start making deals after the All-Star break or after they come back from the All-Star break. Rory, you heard Monahan has missed the last couple of practices. I did not hear that. I know he was back skating, but I don't know. But I mean, it's going to be kind of key if they're going to be able to move him. Although, as long as he's back playing, as long as he's healthy by then, I think you can move him. I think there'll be a team. You might not get the same return, but you're going to move him because they're going to get something for Monahan. There's got to be a team out there that's contending that saw what he did, obviously, before he got hurt, and we'll take we'll make a deal for him. All right, what else I got? I got nothing else, so I got a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to go do my pro review. So anything you guys want to talk about, get it in now. Born to be a Hab. 4-2 Habs. Raphael Harvey Pinard with the first goal. Roy says if he's healthy, they very well could just be sitting him instead of risking another injury. I guess that's a possibility, though. I mean, right? I guess so. I don't know. There's 2 more games. It kind of makes sense. Also, if you figure you're going to be able to move him at right after the All-Star break. Do you really want to take a chance in those 2 games that he re-injures himself? It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Phil says, remember everyone, don't blow into your what? Nate carts? The humidity eventually corrodes the pads. What are you talking about? Don't blow into your I don't know what you mean. And that got me thinking. I don't know what that is. Oh, NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Don't blow into your those little the cartridges. Yeah, okay. Like, where did that come from out of the blue like that? I'm just curious. It's just that's so random. It just happened to you, right? That's what. All right, I'm gonna get to the preview in just a second. Let's get that done. Get her done. All right. So the game tonight is the 20-25-4 Montreal Canadiens in Ottawa to take on the 22-23-3 Ottawa Senators. How to watch this game? It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It is on CBC in Canada and also Sportsnet East and Sportsnet Ontario and Sportsnet Pacific in English and TVA Sports in French. And they give you the streaming options now. NHL 66, that's the best one. Season series, December 14th. That's right. We were in Ottawa. We lost 3-2. There's tonight. And then January 31st. That's right. So next Tuesday, we're the Ottawa's in Montreal. And then February 25th. Again, just before the trade deadline, Ottawa's in Montreal again to close out the series. Last 10 record, Montreal's 5-4-1 in their last 10, and they lost in overtime the last game. And Ottawa is 4-6-0, but on a 2-game win streak. Home and away, Montreal's away tonight, so 9-12-3, and Ottawa is 13-11-1 at home. Tail of the tape. Scoring chances for percentage, 43.9% for Montreal, 29th. Ottawa's good in this area, 52.1% for 10th in the league. Goals per game, 2.57 for Montreal, 30th, and 2.92 for Ottawa, 24th. Almost a half a point better. Goals, did I say point gets goals? Half a goal. This is going to be a really trying night. My mouth ain't working very well tonight. Goals against per game, 3.65 for Montreal, 28th, and 3.23 for Ottawa, 20th. Power play percentage, 15.1%, 32nd for Montreal, last in the league. And for them, they got a really good power play, 26.2%, 4th overall in the league. PK percentage, 73.6% for Montreal, 29th. And over in Ottawa, they got a good one, 80.8%, 12th in the league. And if you add those two numbers up, they got 107% there. Their special teams are good, and Montreal's not. 0-1-0 is Montreal's record this year against Ottawa. They're 1-0-0. And face-offs, 49.8% for Montreal, 17th in the league, and 52.1% for Ottawa, 9th. Shots on goal, 4, and allowed. Shots on goal, 4, 27.8 for Montreal, 33.7 for them. And allowed, 34 even for Montreal and 31.9 for them. Goalies tonight, I don't know. I know that Talbot's out. He's injured. He won't be back till, I want to say after the All-Star break, but it might be longer. So they probably have Forsberg in there, and it's going to be Monty tonight. 10-9-2 with a 3.14 goals against and a 9.10 save percentage, no shutouts. And Forsberg is 9-10-2 with a 3.24 goals against and 9.03 save percentage, but 1 shutout. So very similar numbers and record there for the two goalies. Players to watch over the last 5 points for Montreal, Doc with 5 and Tkachuk with 6 for them. Goals, Anderson with 3 for us. Stutzla, the diver, for them, 2. Assists with 4 each, Barron and Tkachuk. And plus minus, Matheson with a +3 for us. And I think it's Nick Holden with a +1 for them. What's up next? Leaders. Goal leaders, Caulfield, who was out the rest of the season, 26 goals. And the Diver has 20. Points, Suzuki with 38, Tkachuk with 49. Time on ice, Mike Matheson, 23.05, and Thomas Chabot with 25.53 for them. Jake Allen with 10 wins, and Cam Talbot has 12 wins for them. Bottom 10, St. Louis now at the top of the bottom 10. Philadelphia, Ottawa, and then Montreal, and then Vancouver, San Jose, Arizona, Anaheim, Chicago, and Columbus rounded out. And once again, Anaheim, Chicago, and Columbus just switching chairs. Moving around. The refs tonight. Wes McCauley, last season, 0-2. Montreal was 0-2. No, 2-0. I read the wrong one. 2-0 under McCauley and 1-3 under Mark Jonette, the second ref. So we might get a break. I don't know. I might do okay from in 2021, 2021. Jonette was 7-9, or Montreal was 7-9 when Jonette. So this might be okay. Still be shitty though. Top 5 Ottawa scoring. Tkachuk tops them with 19 goals, 30 assists. The Diver with 20 goals, 25 assists, 45 points. I didn't say Kachuk's points, 49 points. Claude Giroux, 17 goals, 27 assists, 44 points. Drake Batherson, 15 goals, 26 assists, 41 points. And Alex DeBrincat, 15 goals, 24 assists, 39 points. For Montreal, Nick Suzuki, 16 goals, 22 assists, 38 points. He's stuck there a little bit. Caulfield, 26 goals, 10 assists, 36 points. He's going to be stuck there the rest of the season. Kirby Dach working his way up, 10 goals, 22 assists, 32 points. Christian Dvorak, 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 points. And Anderson rounding that out with 14 goals, 3 assists, and 17 points. The lines for the Sens tonight. The Diver is centering Tkachuk and Matthew Joseph. Ridley Greg, however you pronounce it, in between DeBrincat and Giroux. Shane Pinto in between Brassard and Batherson, and Dylan Gambrell in between Kelly and Watson. Chabot and Holden first pair, Sanderson and Hamonic second pair, Brandstrom and Zaitsev third pair, and Forsberg is making the start. And there you go. That's their lines. Our lines: Suzuki, Pitlick, Anderson. That stays the same from last one. Doc, Hoffman, Ullinen this time. Oh, I think that's the same as last game. Dvorak, Beck, and Dadnov, third line. And Belzile, Pizzetta, and Harvey Pinard are the fourth line. Matheson, Savard, first pair. Jacky, Barron, second pair. Harris, Kovacevic, third pair. Monty making the start. And there you go. That's it. I got nothing else. We'll see you guys are saying. And we got about 15 minutes before I'm going to take off for the live show for the game, so we can talk about whatever you guys want. I missed you there, Corey, but thanks for being here. It's did I say Corey or Rory? I meant Rory. I don't know what the hell's wrong with my mouth today. I see what you're saying. It's been 30 years now since they came out, so they're all corroded. He fixes them. His are all clean, and he's not an animal. I did not think you're an animal. I am, what is that? I'm not an elephant. I am a human being. Or no, it is I am not an animal. I am not an animal. I am a human being. What movie is that from? He warns all Xbox owners to do the same with your clock capacitor. It's leaking by now and is slowly eating your childhood away. Yeah, it sounds like a video game right there. Hey, Kenny B, how you doing, man? After the All-Star game, the Habs played their customary afternoon games at home. Yeah, for the Super Bowl weekend. I think they start at 12:30 this year. Am I right? I'm not sure, but I think so. And I hate those. That's so I kind of like them, and I also don't like them at the same time. Just 2 days where I gotta it's start. It's just too early to be on and doing a game. Just too early, 2 days in a row. Kenny B says 4-2 Habs. Anderson scores first. Gotcha. Ronnie, hey Ronnie, how you doing, man? With Beck playing tonight, what's my take? No, there's nothing about a trade. It's an emergency call-up. Edmondson is injured, so they're really short staffed. So they called up Beck. I expect Beck here for the 2 games till the All-Star break, and then they'll send him back down. There's nothing. I mean, I don't. Maybe there is. I've heard nothing about it. Trade. It's just simply because of the Edmondson. And they also wanted to. They're going with a full lineup as far as this. They're not going 11 forwards. They're going 12 forwards, 6 defensemen. That has a lot to do with it there as well. And since everybody's injured, they're allowed to call them up on an emergency basis. So, Mary Jo, how's it going, Mary Jo? 4-2 Habs, Pizzetta, first goal. Sam Wallenius. Is that? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so I'm just going to say Sam. High scoring game tonight, maybe. And you got it right, Elephant Man. I am not an animal. I am a human being. That goes for me too. I'm not an animal, and I'm a human being. I think, anyway. Depends what the simulation says. All right, let's get to the preview. Did I do the preview? I did the preview. Let's get to your questions. There's no questions. So what am I going to get to? I got still got about 10, 12 minutes to go. Like my chair? Hey, listen, here's a question for you guys. Do you guys still consider those blue shirts, the red reverse retros? You still consider them totally jinxed and they can't win with them? Now, they didn't win, but they came as close as you could, and it was a really good game. I'm curious what you guys think. If anybody's changed their mind at all. I suspect nobody has, but either that or I'm alone here. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone now. Everybody leave? I didn't tell you guys you could go. All right. Looking for some comments. Nobody's going to talk to me. Or it's going through one of those. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you guys are making comments and they're not sending them to me. And then boom, all of a sudden in one push, they give me everything. So that's probably what's happening. Montreal broke the curse, got point wearing them. Yep. I mean, listen, last year with the darker blue ones, they had a win and an overtime loss. So now they've had the overtime loss. Now they got 2 more opportunities to get a win. They're playing them twice more this year. I think they're going with 7 times this year, and because they played them 6 times last year and said, you know what, let's add one because everybody loves these jerseys, and that's not really true, but I don't care. Doesn't bother me. So what say you people? You gonna talk to me, or are you just gonna? I think you like watching some old guy sitting here. It's awkward, like you don't know what to say. Like, let's watch this old guy just squirm and sweat. I don't know. I think it's causing the shrooms to kick in, though. Stan is confirming both games on Super Bowl weekend will start at 12:30. I don't know what the weekend is, but I imagine it's like it's after the 11th because they don't have any games between the 1st and the 10th. Ronnie despises the Habs blue jersey. I mean, that's that's kind of strong, but you're allowed. I'm not really for them or against them. I'm kind of neutral on them. Yeah, but they don't bother me, and I don't particularly like them either. Habs lose for Bedard. Let's go, because that's what's going to happen. If they lose, they're getting Bedard. AH2O. Yeah, anyway. Harry Rice. 7-2 Habs back with the first goal. Jack, I also fight someone as a bonus prediction. All right. Do I have to give you like a bonus prize if you win? Like, I don't know. I think it's the 14th and 15th. They're going to play them on the Super Bowl weekend. That kind of makes sense. No, they're not playing. Are they playing the 12th also? Oh, so it's the 11th, 12th, and then the 14th, because I know they're playing on my birthday. So I thought it was the 11th and the 14th, but I guess I'm getting 3 games in 4 days for my birthday. Nice. So there you go. Thanks, Harry. I appreciate that. Who is Beck replacing? I don't think he's replacing anybody. He's going to be they were going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. They're now going with the full 12 forwards, 6 defensemen. So I don't really think he's replacing anybody. I just think it's because Edmondson injury, they needed. It's an emergency recall. They had to. They brought him up because of that. But he's not replacing anybody because there was only 11 forwards. So now the only healthy scratch is Weidman. When there should be a forward and a defenseman scratched every game. All right, we're getting there. Another about 8 minutes. Anything you guys want to ask me? If I know the answer, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll also tell you that I don't. And I might even be sarcastic about it, some of it, or whatever. I'll answer everybody that asks a question. How's that? First come, first serve. That's what she said last night. I'm just going to hang around until somebody talks to me. So I'll be back in when I leave here at 7 o'clock for the game. The game is on CBC. Don't forget. So if you're in Canada and you typically have trouble watching the game online, at least it's a free night where it's nice and easy to watch the game. So there's that. And then you get it before everybody else. Anybody watching online will get it a little bit later. So tonight's the night where I get to call the goals before anybody gets them. Pretty much. I think there's only a couple people that sometimes have it ahead of me on those nights. But it is on CBC, so that means it's across Canada. And so, yeah. I don't know if it's because, I imagine it's because the Toronto played last night and they weren't playing tonight. So they allowed Montreal to have the national game. If Toronto were playing, then that wouldn't be happening, and the Montreal game would be on City TV. That's why it's on CBC, though. Aren't we lucky? Are we lucky as Habs fans that Toronto is not playing tonight and we get that? Aren't we lucky? No? Hey, Sammy, how you doing? 4-2 Habs. Doc with the first goal. 4-2 seems to be, I want to say tonight with all the guesses, 4-2 is the most popular guess. I see, I'm different. I have 4-3. Ronnie, I just had an even better thought than that. Imagine all 4 lines with solid centers. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think they're looking at not only that, I think they're looking at having 2 centers on each line. I think that's their formula down the road, is having 2 guys that can play center on each line. So I'm not saying they have to be all top centers, but with your top centers, you're going to have another guy that plays center or that can play center, has the mind of a center. I think that's how it was put. And then that way, I think it makes a lot of sense. You're going to win the middle that way. If you got two guys on each line that are strong down the middle, you're going to do well. Has anyone picked Doc 4-2 Montreal? You got to scroll for that. I don't remember specifically that. That's asking a lot for an old guy that smokes pot. And also whose shrooms are kicking in at the same time. Anything else that bad that I do? I don't know. It's just a microdose. It's not bad. Ronnie Kravitz says Suzuki is number 1. Beck number 2 and Doc number 3. And you see, no, that's if you're watching Doc play and you're saying Doc is third line center, I gotta question you a little bit there. No, I really see Owen Beck becoming this generation's or this version of the Habs, Guy Carbonneau. What I mean by that, a really solid defensive center who can play some offense as well. And Carbonneau regularly was in the around 50 points, just under, a little over. That's, and in juniors, Carbo was like a dominant scorer. Look at his numbers from when he was in juniors. He had really good numbers. I don't just mean like, 100 points, like really good numbers in junior. I like the older version of the Habs jersey. There's not a ton of difference though, but yeah, I like if it's the white or I like the white one, but the traditional white jersey, doesn't matter what era, I kind of like it. So I'm okay with the red one too, but for me the white one's the best. Will they keep the fourth line together for next year? No, I mean I wouldn't expect that the fourth line would be together longer than takes for people to get healthy or whatever. So no, I don't really expect that. Could it happen? I mean, sure, it could happen, I guess, but I don't think so. No. Oh, Ronnie, you're saying not necessarily in this order. Okay, I take it back then. I apologize. Yeah, no, listen. If they don't pick up in the draft somebody that is going to be I can see Doc staying on the wing if need be. But yeah, I think you're going to see them draft some centers, and we've got a few, I think, in the coming up, and you're going to see, I think, a lot of centers on the roster. But Born to Be Happy, I mean, Harvey Pinard's probably going to be a third line winger, I would think. I would think a third line winger. Pizzetta, Belzile is getting a little old. I don't know if Belzile sticks around like for that. Honestly, for this year, yeah, enjoy it while you got it, kind of thing. That's how I look at it. On that note, I'm going to take off. I'll be back in just over 20 minutes for the live hangout. I want to thank everybody for being here, for talking to me in the chat, and just hanging out. And I'll see you in 20 minutes. So till then, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And that's it. Ciao. I'll see you in a bit.